I'm not sure they're actually mountains, and they're definitely not frozen. I've got to be honest, I'm not 100% sure I'm supposed to be up here. Okay, so I thought I was done. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me again for another video. Today, I'm just outside the town of Albir, or maybe it's Albir. I'm not sure if that's Valencian. And I'm on the side of the Sierra Helada, or the frozen mountains. I'm not sure they're actually mountains, and they're definitely not frozen. But apparently they're so named because at night from the sea, they look like frozen mountains. I'm actually here on the trail, which is called Camino del Faro. It's a paved trail, very nicely paved trail, very easily accessible, and it leads all the way up from a car park, where I've just parked the car, up to El Faro, which is the lighthouse. And I'm going to walk up there. So I've come here today with a dual purpose. Purpose number one is to do a bit of location scouting. What I'm interested in is there a vantage point here that I can shoot the lighthouse, probably at sunrise, to get the best of the light. I don't think it's going to be a sunset type of scene, because the light will be in the wrong direction. And purpose number two is I want to explore the old mining area here, because this whole section was used for red ochre mining. And I know, kind of below the lighthouse, there's some trails that lead down into parts of the old mine area. And I'm just wondering if there might be some images to be had down there. I won't know unless I go and have a look. I'm kind of thinking maybe something with late afternoon light. And the sun's already getting a bit lower, as you can see behind me there. So this is very definitely a popular place for walkers and for cyclists, actually. It's allowed to bicycle here, although people on foot are supposed to have right of way. But as I said, it's a nice smooth surface, very easily accessible, and you can take your time on the walk. No rushing needed. And some spectacular views to look at. Although unfortunately a lot of the views are actually blocked by trees unless you walk up to the kind of observation points. So after a short walk, we got our first view of the lighthouse out on the hill over there. It's a working lighthouse, but it is open to the public during the daytime. I'm not sure if the lighthouse itself is open at this time of day in the afternoon, but certainly you should be able to walk up and around it. So we're going to go and do that in a little while. But as I said, I'm also looking for potential compositions. And yeah, kind of here is quite nice. We've got the sea over on one side, the lighthouse up on the hill, and the path leading along. So that might make for an interesting shot. But I do think there's probably something better to be had. Okay, so finding potential compositions using the lighthouse here is actually really quite tricky. Because the lighthouse sits so high up, there's not many vantage points where you can kind of get a view looking down on it and therefore get the sea in the scene as well to lend that context. There are certainly some hills around, but I can't see any obvious way of getting up those hills, unless you can get up them from another side. Keep on looking around. The other thing I've noticed is, even though it's still 2 hours 10 minutes before sunset, I think the light down in the kind of the valley, which is where the mine workings are, has already gone. So I may have blown it. Maybe I need to come, you know, sort of early afternoon, maybe even late morning to get light on that scene. I don't know. I'll still have a look and see what I can find, because it might give me an opportunity to come back, maybe do a dawn shoot of the lighthouse and then afterwards go and explore the mines. I don't know. Yeah, okay, so I found some parts of the old mines, but they're either tiny and you can't really get into them, or they're closed off, probably for safety reasons, I guess, dangers of caving and stuff like that. I could go further down. I know there is some more mine workings further down, but I have definitely left it too late today. There's no light down in this part of the scene. The sun's gone down behind those hills over there. So I'm going to go up and have a look at the lighthouse, have another bit of an explore around and see if I can find anything to shoot around sunset. Okay, so I've found my way up to a higher vantage point. I've got to be honest, I'm not 100% sure I'm supposed to be up here. I basically found a little cut off of the main trail, and it led up a sort of little narrow, windy trail on the side of the cliff, and it kind of ends in a fence. So I'm probably going to have to get the shot fairly quickly and get out, just in case somebody tells me to go away. But it's giving me a reasonable view of the lighthouse. Yeah, that might look quite nice. We've got some quite nice light on the lighthouse, the trail leading up from the bottom left hand corner, the sea on both sides, and in the background we've got the mountains and all the town of I think it's Altea, and then around to Calpe, and right out there on the end somewhere is the rock of Ifach. So that might look quite nice. Now, because there's people moving around, what I'm doing is I'm shooting a long exposure. I've got a 2-stop soft-edged ND grad in just to hold the top of the scene back a little bit, because there's quite a bit of light on the top and almost nothing on the bottom. And I've got a 10-stop ND filtered, big stopper in, and I'm shooting f10, 30 seconds, ISO 64. And I'm going to shoot a few shots, because even though the long exposure should hopefully blur out the moving people, there are some that aren't moving very much or not moving very fast. So if I take several shots, then maybe I can blend them out later if I need to. Okay, so the lighthouse itself is closed up, but I know there is like an information centre here, so sometimes it's open, but I guess it's the wrong time of day. But it's still nice. As you can see, but up there, right on the edge of that thing, there is the fence that I was standing by. Places we do have to get into to try and get a shot. Worth it though, hopefully. Okay, so in terms of the plan for today, I came out to scout potential sunrise locations, and I hope to get some images, or at least an image, something to do with the old mines. Well, the old mines, it's the wrong time of day. I completely got that wrong. I should be here early afternoon, late morning to get light on that scene. So that's maybe one to come back to. But having said that, having a look around down there, I'm not sure that it's going to be worth it. In terms of scouting a location for sunrise, well, that spot that I ended up taking that shot from would probably work as a sunrise location. I'm not sure that I fancy to climb up there in the dark. It was a bit tricky, right on the edge of the cliff. And to be honest, I'm not even sure if you could get up there, because the access, the way I got up there, meant going through the gate to the lighthouse. And I'm not sure if they shut that gate at night. It's a job to tell. I had a bit of a look around the gate trying to see whether there were signs of it being shut recently, but it's impossible to tell. So I don't know. To be honest with you, if that image that I took today comes out the way that I hope, once I've colour corrected it and done a bit of playing around, I think I've got the shot there that I wanted, so I may not bother coming back to try that again. At least not for a while. Plenty of other locations to go to. Okay, so I thought I was done, and then I came around the corner and I saw a scene out in front of me that I thought was worth capturing. I'm not entirely sure, but it looks quite nice. There's some nice light on the scene. What we've got just down there is the town of Albir. So what we've got is the port in the foreground, or the sea in the foreground, and then the port, although I might crop a bit of the sea out. Then we've got the new town, which sits right the way along the coastal edge. And then beyond that, we've got the old town, which sits higher up. And there's a church there with a blue dome and a tower. And then behind that, we've kind of got mountains. And I'm not including any sky in this because there's nothing there to look at in the sky. 70 to 200 lens, 200 millimeters. Got a circular polarizer on to cut out any glare. F11 and 1/15 of a second. I'm going to hang on for a minute because there's a boat just about to go in. Yeah, I quite like that, because what I've got is I've got the wake of the boat coming in from the bottom right hand corner of the frame, and then the boat's sort of halfway across to the harbour. The harbour mouth's on the sort of top. The harbour mouth is on the left hand third, and then the old town, the church and the tower is kind of in the middle of the scene. Yeah, it might end up having to be cropped even more to take some of the right hand side of the scene out a little bit, because there's not so much interest there. But I'm as tight in as I can get with the 70 to 200 lens. But it's a 36 megapixel file. I've got loads of room to crop it if I need to, and still have a good size image. So that's it, I'm done. But I've enjoyed it. I'm hoping that lighthouse shot could look pretty nice. Hopefully. As long as I haven't made a mess of something. It's always possible. But I guess you'll already know because you'll already have seen it. I hope you've enjoyed this little excursion out to Albir, or Albir. I'm still not quite sure which one it is. On the Costa Blanca in Spain. If you enjoyed watching this video and you think you might like to check out some more of my stuff, then consider hitting subscribe. Unless you've already done so, in which case thank you very much. Likes and shares are always very much appreciated, and I love to hear from you, so comments down below please. And as always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, so thank you very much, and until the next video, bye.